there's a pathological mode of being that's so terrible that when you enact it, you just die. A good drug addiction will do that for you. If you pursue that, meth addiction, pursue that for about 10 years, you know, and you'll descend to the lower levels of hell, and then you'll die. Right. Well, so then you might say, well, what's at the opposite end of that? What would be the final manifestation of a mode of life that was revivifying and healthy? How redemptive and rejuvenating would that be? And I would say the answer to that is that we don't know. We have no idea. And these ideas of death and rebirth are definitely true on the micro level. Those exist as constant metaphysical truths. That's how human beings transform. And we don't know the upper limits of that transformation. We have no idea what that might be. Because I don't know, for example, how healthy you could be if you were as healthy as you could be, if you straightened yourself out completely. I don't know what limits you could transcend, and neither does anybody else. So we don't know the upper limits of the truth of these religious stories. Now, we do know what happens if you let go of them too badly. You end up with something like the Soviet Union or Mao's China. Which were both based on, I mean, they were atheist. Yeah, they were secular. They were, they dispensed, you know, for Marx, religion was the opiate of the masses. It's not like I don't understand that. I understand that. But it's another one of those situations where it's like religion is the opiate of the masses. Yeah, and it's also 50 other things. And you don't want to forget those. Like, really, we know, for example, from anthropological studies, religious belief is a human universal. And the reason for that, in part, is because there is a distinction between good and evil. And there is a distinction between good and bad. Otherwise, you wouldn't do anything. Like, you're always striving for the good. I mean, unless you've taken a malevolent turn. It's a natural impulse in human beings to make what is better. Well, it means we have a deeply inbuilt sense of what constitutes better. And we're all aware of that harmonious state that's achieved in community. And the thing that's interesting about it, like one of the things that Nietzsche thought was, after he announced the death of God, was that people would be able to create new values. And Carl Jung took issue with that. He was a student of Nietzsche's, and he pointed out basically that, well, wait a minute. Who says you can create your own values? You can't even get yourself out of bed to go exercise in the morning. You're not under your own control. Maybe we could rediscover the values that we once held. And that's the descent into the underworld and the resurrection of the father. That's what happens in Pinocchio, for example. You know, when Pinocchio goes down into the depths to face Monstro and revitalize his dead father. There's a reason that movie was made in the 1930s and why it was so popular. It's like, you want to get rid of your damn strings and stop being an erotic jackass. That's what the story's about, is you go down to the bottom of the ocean, you find the thing you're most afraid of, you face it, you rescue your dead father from the depths, and you rise back to the surface with him. That's what our culture has to do. That's what our culture has to do.